Good evening and welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome, welcome,
Welcome.
welcome, welcome, welcome,
Welcome.
welcome to the 2021
Post-lockdown Esher Oscars.
Yes, and welcome to the first ever virtual live event.
This year, I think it's fair to say, has been an unusual year. And one of the reasons we wanted to have the Oscars was because we felt, all of the staff in media, film and photography felt that you guys have done an amazing job of producing the standard of work that you have done under the circumstances that we've all kind of been through. So it was very difficult to nominate. The winners were kind of voted for anonymously. So we don't know who the winners are, but just the fact that you guys have been nominated, congratulations to all the nominees.
Yes, congratulations. So sit back, grab yourself a drink and enjoy the show.
The category I'm going to be presenting this evening is the self-portrait category. This is a category that I feel takes a certain amount of self-confidence, quite a lot of bravery, and a lot of imagination. The reason is, I think we're image makers, we're used to turning the camera on other people, and it takes that next level of kind of thought to turn it on yourself. The nominees are Alice Caruana, Esme Perryman, Georgia Moran, and Lola Tyler. And the winner is a student who we felt went above and beyond in terms of taking an original idea and pushing herself outside her comfort zone, and produced a very brave piece of work of herself dressed up quite extravagantly in a Tesco supermarket. And the winner is Lola Tyler. Congratulations, Lola.
And now for the best screenplay in A-level film studies. Gareth and I found it really hard to choose the winner. We've had what is probably the best year in terms of screenwriting from, God, forever. I started here in 2004 and I don't remember a better year for screenwriting. So the nominees are Alana Offield, Bird Boy, Hannah Patel, Amul, Harry Stevenson, Breaking, Marnie Campin-Harris, You Must Remember This, Sasha Langston, Appendix Man, Sasha Reynolds, Dopamine, Alex Ems, Barroom Blitz, and Millie Ambrose, Make America Great Again, and Again, and Again. And the winner is Sasha Langston and Appendix Man, which is a really, really cool short film about the world's greatest superhero and a really terrible case of appendicitis and the existential crisis that ensues after this. Well done, Sasha. Very creative work.
This year in photography, we have had a huge variety in alternative processes and presentations, from using cyanotypes to using black and white film, medium format, anything this year. Our category for alternative presentation, the nominees are Alison Dreisem, Jasmine Reitzmer, Keelan Humphreys, Lily with Stanley Fisher, Neve Hill, Ollie Morris, Paula Bell, and Zana Nykrez. And the winner is Ollie Morris.
Up next is a category for a piece of coursework which took a very, very, very long time to complete, but also showcased some amazing and sometimes quite unusual creativity. Yep, next category is stop motion. And the nominees are Frankie Golder, healthy eating. Ewan Noble, knife crime.
You know what to do. Yeah, we got it. Come on, let's go.
Edward Harper-Jones, going, going, gone. Loxley Bayfield, forest fire.
It's a shame we destroy their forests and their food supply. This is making survival for their dwindling population.
Letty Lindsell, homelessness. And the winner is... it's Edward Harper-Jones with Going, Going, Gone. Congratulations, Edward. I have to say that was a very strong list of nominees and all very worthy winners, but has to be one winner. Well done, Ed.
So we've had tons of fun in the studio this year. All the students who've used the studio have shown amazing creativity, excellent professional skills and have produced some fantastic work. So the nominees for Best Commercial Studio Photography are Jodie Flood, Jolie Chaplin, Kitty Alderson-Berry, Poppy Higgins and Zoe Heisney. And the winner is Poppy Higgins. Very well done, super well deserved. You've worked incredibly hard for this project and yeah, just really well done.
And now for the best film or scene. There were some really strong contenders here. It was actually quite surprising to see some of the level of skill that was crafted using the equipment that we have. So without further ado, the nominees are Tom Greed, The Remains of Eva Finch.
Every impossibility was a possibility when it came to my family. My mother would say that's what makes us unique.
Ben Badby, Blue Butterfly. Yasmin Rahmani, Noir Scene.
Petite, innocent. No one suspects the woman who lives alone.
Ben Badby, Noir Scene.
It was some large dickhead with a big fist.
coupled with a strong dislike of my face.
And the winner is Ben Badby for his noir scene. Well deserved. I mean, all of you, phenomenal representations of cinematography and lighting throughout all of your pieces. But something really stood out in your piece, Ben. It's excellent and well done, and I can't wait to see what you and all of you do in the future.
It is absolutely imperative no one knows you entered this house.
Why did you take me here?
You were a mess. No doubt the cops would have stopped you. They stop you, they find me. And if they find me, my career is fucked.
And whose career is that?
Previous to this current engagement, no dealers had the pleasure of entering this house. So be swift. What's your name? And what on earth happened, son?
I got jumped. It was some large dickhead with a big fist, coupled with a strong dislike of my face. He took the cocks. Cocaine.
The plot thickens.
I followed him. It was a long walk with lots of twists and turns. Lights flashing past. Vague shadows in the distance. And the air was cold. There was no way I wasn't getting it back. I had to get it back. And then I got it back.
The next category this evening is the Fine Art Studio category. And this is a category that demonstrates a very thoughtful approach to the final presentation and an approach that is slightly left field in a very good way, not in a bad way. So, our Fine Art Studio Photography nominees are Jessamy Benham, Ruby Dixon, Scarlett Ratty, and Summer Stone. And the winner is an incredibly hard-working student who gave 110% for the whole of 2 years and produced above and beyond, so far above and beyond. The winner is Scarlett Ratty.
And now the category for film print work within Media Studies A-Level. Well done to all of those students who undertook this brief. It was a really, really tough one to do in the conditions, and I was so impressed with the standard of work that was produced. The nominations are Alex Fletcher, Kiara Newbold, Jaya Najur, Loic Wood. And the winner is, this is very exciting, Kiara Newbold. Well done, Kiara. We were really, really impressed with the work that you produced. Really stunning photos, and you worked so hard on this, and the results were fantastic. So well done. Really, really congratulations to you.
The next category is narrative within photography. And the nominees are Armani Hare, Ella Dawson, Emily Mather, Lily Jones, Liska Dean, and Zoe Armstrong. And the winner is Ella Dawson.
Now this is the BTEC Media Production Best Screenplay category, which is an interesting category because you guys did all of this work in your first year when you're doing the screenwriting unit. So I think the fact that you're getting rewarded for it in your second year shows a lot of patience, but also shows how talented you are, because it's still really, really good work. And the nominees for this category are Toby Smith, Landslide, Oliver Turner Smith, Counterplay, Bo Keating, Cataclysm, Keanu Yankee, The Anomalous. The winner is Toby Smith with Landslide, which we all thought was a really interesting work. There is a sort of crossover between your two main passions, politics and filmmaking, and this kind of level of political satire was really, really quite amazing for a 6-1 student. So well done, Toby.
The next category is for photographic manipulation, both physical manipulation and digital.
The nominees for photographic manipulation are Alex Fletcher, Ella Ashley, Isabel Fleming, Jamie Haynes,
May Schatzberger, Millie Sheriff, and Roxy Martel.
and the winner is
Jamie Haynes.
Up next we have the category for Best Print Magazine for Media A-Level, and I just want to say a huge congratulations to all of you, because trying to produce anything print-based over Teams and during lockdown was quite a challenge, so congratulations. And also a huge congratulations to our nominees. And the nominees are
Amelie Lau, Evie Shelbourne, Freya Goldie, Izzy Litvak, Jamie Haynes, Jessica Borrington, Julia Klisevich, Katie Clooney-Mark, Poppy Higgins, Tilly Mosley, and Zach Bald. And the winner is Julia Klisevich. Congratulations, Julia, for your wonderful psychedelic magazine. It brought the 60s back to life.
This category is a genre that's really close to my heart. We've had some absolutely fantastic work from these nominees, and it was incredibly difficult to choose. The nominees for Best Still Life Photography are Ellie Horn, Jane Driver, Orla Stewart, Sophie Wakeford, and Verena Sander. And the winner is Sophie Wakeford. Very well done, Sophie. We could see your work in magazines and on billboards. It was so professional and with such an important message as well. Very, very well done.
Welcome back. I'm delighted to be presenting the category for Best Podcast this evening. And I would just like to say, before reading out the nominees and announcing the winner, how impressed I've been with everybody's commitment and the quality of work, given the very challenging circumstances that we have all been working under this year. There's been a real mix of different content, from the downright strange to the absolutely hilarious, and some that have been pretty uncomfortable to listen to. But without further ado, it is time now to announce the nominees. Summer Stone, Joanna Vaz da Costa, Alicia Williams, Ewan Noble, and the winner is Ewan Noble. Perhaps said with a little too much drama, but heartfelt, absolutely heartfelt, because Ewan, you've been on an incredible journey this year, which sounds really cheesy, but actually the improvement in you, I didn't actually teach you last year, but from what I hear, you have grown up so much this year. You've been so much more committed, so much more enthusiastic, and learned so much about the subject. It's great to see. It's been really kind of invigorating, I think, for all your teachers to see how much you've progressed this year. I and your other teachers have no doubt you're going to go on to do incredible things in the film and TV industry. So good luck, sir. Thoroughly well deserved.
Going down.
Hello, I am your host, Ewan Noble, and I am presenting to you a new podcast, Critical Skyjack. In this podcast, I will be covering hijackings and the order of events on how they occurred. Egypt Air Flight 648 was a Boeing 737-266 airline carrying 92 passengers as it was hijacked by the terrorist organization Abu Nidal. It was one of the deadliest skyjackings in history, as I will get into as I cover the occurrence of events paired with first-hand accounts from people on board. Flight 648 ascended at 8 p.m. following its Athens to Cairo route. Then, minutes following takeoff, 3 Palestinian members of Abu Nidal hijacked the aircraft. The terrorists, identifying themselves as the Egyptian Revolution, were heavily armed with guns and grenades. The terrorist leader, Omar Razak, proceeded to check all passports. As this occurred, an Egyptian security service agent, Mustafa Kamil, who was on board, opened fire, killing one of the terrorists before being wounded along. with 2 flight attendants. Their exchange of fire caused a puncture in the fuselage, being the main body of the aircraft, causing massive depressurization. The aircraft was forced to descend 14,000 feet, 4,300 meters, to allow the crew and passengers to breathe. The hijackers' original destination was Libya. However, due to the lack of fuel and negative publicity, Malta was chosen as a more suitable option. In the aircraft's approach to Malta, fuel was running dangerously low. There were serious pressurization problems, and wounded passengers were aboard. Maltese authorities did not give permission for the aircraft to land, as they have done prior to other hijacked aircrafts. The Egypt Air 648 hijackers insisted, forcing the pilot Hani Gali to land at Luki Airport. As a last-minute attempt to prevent the landing, the runway lights were switched off. However, the pilot managed to land the damaged aircraft safely. In the beginning, the Maltese authorities were optimistic they could solve the crisis. Malta had good relations with the Arab world, and 12 years prior, resolved a more serious situation in the hijacking of the KLM Boeing 747, landing under similar circumstances. The Maltese Prime Minister, Carmenu Mifsud Bonici, rushed to the airport's control tower and assumed responsibility for negotiations aided by an interpreter. The Prime Minister refused to refuel the aircraft or to withdraw Maltese armed forces which had surrounded the plane until all passengers were released. 11 passengers and 2 injured flight attendants were allowed off the plane.
Going down!
The hijackers began killing the hostages after the plane landed at Lucca Airport in Malta. The first to die was an Israeli woman, shot at point-blank range and thrown outside the plane. After 6 hours on the ground, there was some movement of military vehicles around the plane. The chief hijackers got very excited, and when Maltese authorities did not withdraw the vehicles as demanded, he shot a second hostage and threw her body out. I was prepared to do anything at that point to stop the killing. Get them fuel and fly them wherever they wanted, as long as the killing stopped.
They started with Tamar Artzi, an Israeli woman, whom they shot in the head and back. Artzi survived her wounds. Razak, the chief hijacker, threatened to kill a passenger every 15 minutes until his demands were met. His next victim, Nitzan Mendelssohn, another Israeli woman who died. He then shot 3 Americans, Patrick Scott Baker, Scarlett Mary Rogenkamp, and Jackie Nink Clark. Of the 5 passengers shot, Artzi, Baker, and Pulag survived. Mendelssohn died in a Maltese hospital a week later after the hijacking. A British passenger commented that he saw Razak had to raise his gun in order to shoot Baker, who was about 6'5" tall.
They were kneeling and praying for mercy and just sitting waiting for the execution. At the time, I was sure he would not stop. He was making jokes immediately after killing.
Bonici was under heavy pressure from both the hijackers and from the United States and Egypt, whose ambassadors were at the airport. When the US told Maltese authorities that Egypt had a special forces counter-terrorism team trained by the US Delta Force ready to move in, they were granted permission to come. The Egyptian Unit 777, under the command of Major General Kamil Atiyah, was flown in, led by 4 American officers. Negotiations were prolonged for as much as possible with the hijackers, and it was agreed that the plane should be attacked on the morning of the 25th of November, when food was to be taken into the aircraft. Soldiers dressed as caterers would jam the doors open and attack. Without warning, Egyptian commandos launched the raid about an hour and a half before it had been originally planned. They blasted open the passenger doors and luggage compartment doors with explosives. Bonici claimed that these unauthorized explosions caused the internal plastic of the plane to catch fire, causing widespread suffocation. However, the Times of Malta, quoting sources at the airport on that day, held that the hijackers realized that they were being attacked and lobbed hand grenades into the passenger area, killing people and starting the fire on board. The storming of the aircraft killed 54 of the remaining 87 passengers, as well as 2 crew members and 2 hijackers.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to your cabin crew, who will demonstrate the safety features of this aircraft.
At the end there was a lot of shooting. Bullets flying everywhere. You couldn't breathe. I was desperate really to try and get out. I managed to stumble the way up the aisle over the people and fall out the door.
Only one hijacker, Omar Razak, who had survived, remained undetected by the Maltese government. The terrorist leader, who was injured during the storming of the aircraft, had removed his hood and ammunition and pretended to be an injured passenger. Egyptian commandos tracked Razak to St. Luke's General Hospital and, holding the doctors and medical staff at gunpoint, entered the casualty ward looking for him. He was arrested when some of the passengers in the hospital recognized him. 58 of the 95 passengers and crew had died, as well as 2 of the 3 hijackers, by the time the crisis was over. Maltese medical examiners estimated that 8 passengers were shot dead by the commandos. Razak faced trial in Malta, but with no anti-terrorism legislation, he was tried on other charges. There was widespread fear that terrorists would hijack a Maltese plane or carry out a terrorism attack in Malta as an act of retribution. Razak received a 25-year sentence, of which he served 8. Following his immediate expulsion on release, he went to Ghana and was jailed there. He was released from there and put on a flight to Nigeria. Nigerian authorities denied him entry into the country and handed him to FBI agents departing for the United States. He was brought before a US court on 8th of October 1996 and sentenced to life imprisonment with no parole recommendation.
Going down.
Oh, quick costume change. The next category I'm going to be presenting is hard work and creativity. This is a category that's kind of very close to the heart of Kelly, Fiona and I. One, because we obviously were kind of limited in terms of categories like self-portrait, still life, fashion, fine art, and not everyone's photography fits into those neat little boxes. So we wanted to recognise those people who had gone out on a limb, those people who had done something differently, and those people who had kind of gone the extra mile in one way or another. So that's how we came up with hard work and creativity. Claire Lewis. Emily Stain-Pinder. Ewan Noble. Hannah Abraham. Honor Woolley. Julia Klisevich. Nico Agorakis.
Should be able to stand, but I can't. Should be able to fix it all.
Prem Dosan. And Sam Barton. And the winner is Sam Barton. Well done, Sam. This category was probably the hardest category for us to kind of find nominees for, in the sense that so many of our students, especially this year, have kind of blown us away by going above and beyond under the circumstances. And indeed, anyone in that category could have been given this award. The reason we went with Sam in the end was because of the progress Sam has made in his time with us in 2 years, and his amazing kind of dedication in his last final project represented the end of a huge journey for Sam. But that said, it could have gone to Claire, Emily, Hannah, anyone in those categories, anyone in that category, sorry. So yes, well done, Sam. What an amazing evening. that seemed like a suitable celebration to the end of 2 years of hard work on your part.
Yes, the work was fantastic and produced under some very, very difficult and trying circumstances. However, we're sure that it's equipped you to go on to do bigger and better things.
So, now it's your turn to head off into the night, have yourselves a fun evening, don't go crazy, and most of all, enjoy life.
Yes, enjoy yourselves. Have you got changed again?